Hello everyone. Welcome to the online learning platform of Brilliant Public School. In this video, we are going to discuss about Ohm's law, resistance and resistivity, which is a topic of chapter 12 electricity of class 10th physics. So let us move. Ohm's law. The first topic is Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the applied voltage across the conductor if the physical conditions are constant. So this is a very important condition. If the physical conditions are constant, especially the temperature, it states if the temperature is constant. You can also state this Ohm's law as if the temperature is kept constant, the current flowing through any conductor is directly proportional to the applied voltage across the conductor. Okay, so this is Ohm's law. It says that V is proportional to I. Voltage is proportional to the current because voltage is denoted by V and current is by I. So V is proportional to I. When we eliminate this proportional sign with an equal sign, there we include a constant, that is R. This R is nothing but V by I. R is called the resistance of a conductor. Resistance of a conductor. Okay, we will study about this resistance in the next topic. Just so, if V is proportional to I, you see V is proportional to I. When we draw a graph of voltage versus current, we get a straight line because it is similar to the condition of straight line, like y equal to mx plus c. Okay, and c is 0 obviously, so that's why it is passing through the origin. So when we draw any graph of voltage versus the current, we get a straight line in Ohm's law. Okay, if any conductor is following the Ohm's law, then we will get this kind of graph. This is the graph of Ohm's law. Okay. Now, what is resistance? Resistance is a measure of the opposition offered to the current flow in an electric circuit. Okay. So, what happens when electron flows through a conductor or when current flows through a conductor? The electrons flowing through this conductor are opposed by the material of this conductor. That opposition is called resistance. It is denoted by capital R, and the SI unit of this resistance is SI unit of resistance is ohms. Okay, it is represented by this and it's called ohm. Okay, so this is the about resistance. Now, factors affecting resistance, how they affect. Let us talk about this. That how these this resistance, how these factors affect the resistance of a conductor. So resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. So if the length is high, if the length is more, you see, just try to think about this situation. If the resistance is length of a conductor is more, then obviously it will provide more opposition to the flow of electron. That's why the resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Let's say it's L. Resistance is also directly proportional to the nature of the conductor. So it depends on different material. Okay, some material opposes the flow of electron more, some less. So it is directly proportional to the nature of the conductor also. And resistance is inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area of the conductor. So R is inversely proportional to the area. Okay, so you see, suppose I have a conductor of this, and suppose I have another conductor or some thick. Okay, so it's automatically okay. Let us talk about this one. Electrons are flowing through this thin conductor and electrons are flowing through this thick conductor. So who will oppose the electron more? Obviously the conductor which has small cross-sectional area, that will oppose the flow of electrons more. So that's why the resistance of any conductor which has smaller area offers greater resistance. Okay, so it is inversely proportional to the area. Now, by combining these two expressions, we can write like R is proportional to L by A. When we will eliminate this by equal sign, we will get a constant. That constant we denote it by this sign. This is called rho, L by A. So this is the formula for resistance. Basically, this rho, let us talk about this. This rho is called resistivity of a conductor, and resistivity, and its unit is ohm meter, because you see, by varying the size and shape of a conductor, you can vary the resistance, but by varying the size and shape of a conductor, you cannot vary the resistivity of the conductor. It's a basic property of material. So this is the resistivity is nothing but the resistance provided by a conductor of unit length and unit square unit, 1 unit square area. So it is nothing but, so you see, when you will do this L as 1 meter and then A as 1 meter square, you will get in this formula, you will get R is equals to rho. Okay, so rho is nothing but resistivity is nothing but the resistance of a conductor having 1 meter length and 1 meter square area. So per unit volume, the resistance is resistivity. You can see. So okay, it's a basic property of material. For different material, it is different, but it do not vary with the size of conductor. Okay, so that is the resistivity. Let us understand that once more. So the electrical resistance offered by a substance of unit length and unit cross-sectional area is called resistivity. As I said, L is equals to 1 and A is equals to 1. Okay, obviously along with the units. So L is 1 meter, A is 1 meter square. The resistance offered by this kind of conductor is called resistivity. So it is constant for a particular material. Like copper's resistance is something that which you cannot vary it by varying the size and shape of copper. Ohmic and non-ohmic resistance. This is another term which you need to understand. See, ohmic resistances are those types of resistance which follows Ohm's law. Those kinds of resistances are called ohmic resistance. And those which do not follow the Ohm's law, they are called non-ohmic resistance. So when you will draw the graph between voltage and current, okay, you will not get a straight line like this curve you will get. So incandescent lamp, you have seen in your we use it oftenly for household purpose. So it is a non-ohmic resistor. It provides a non-ohmic resistor to the circuit, because what happens when the bulb glows, okay, the temperature of that bulb increases, so it stops following Ohm's law. As I said earlier that Ohm's law is applicable only when the physical conditions are constant. So cause of resistance in a conductor. What is the main cause? What are the main cause? We have already discussed about it. Let us conclude again. So cause of resistance in a conductor, flow of electrons in a conductor is electric current. You know what is current? Flow of electrons through any conductor, that is called electric current, denoted by I. Okay, the positive particles of conductor create hindrance to flow of electron. You see what happens. So a conductor, any conductor, let's talk about a conductor of any kind of material. You see, this conductor has what are the atomic particles or subatomic particles included in this conductor? You see, there are positive charges also. There are atoms of the material also. From the mid of these atoms and conductor is full of atoms and positive charges, and the electron is trying to flow. So what positive charges will do to those electrons? They will attract those electrons, but we are applied, obviously we have applied a force that is called EMF. Okay, electromotive force, which motivates the electrons to flow within a conductor. But then also these positive charges, these atoms, this will create hindrance to those electrons which are flowing through a conductor. That's why they will apply, that's why the resistances are there. And along with that, what happens, atoms are neutral. Okay, suppose we are talking about a neutral atom, so those electrons will strike together also, along with the positive charges also, or with the atoms also. So it creates heat. That's why when electron flows through any conductor, it gets heated. The temperature of that conductor increases. Okay. So this is what about the positive particles does to the electrons. Factors on which resistance of a conductor depends. So nature of material, some materials create least hindrance and hence are called good conductors. Silver is the best conductor of electricity, while some other material create more hindrance in the flow of electric current, that is, flow of electrons through them. Such materials are called bad conductor. They are also called insulators. These bad conductors are also called insulators. Even the electron cannot flow from these kinds of materials. Hard plastic is one of the best insulator of electricity. Okay, although we don't have 100% insulator, it is not available right now. Now, length of the conductor. So we had already discussed about this length of conductor. So length of conductor, resistance is directly proportional to the length of conductor. Resistance increases with the increase in the length. This is the cause that long electric wires create more resistance to the electric current. Long electric wire creates more resistance. Okay. One more thing, area of cross section we have already discussed. The resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Okay, resistance is obviously inversely proportional to the area of cross section. This means resistance will decrease with an increase in the area of conductor and vice versa. More area of a conductor facilitates the flow of electric current through more area and thus decreases the resistance. Because when area is larger, it will provide the electrons. It will provide a place to electrons to flow. This is the cause that thick copper wire creates less resistance to the electric current. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to discuss at last. One more thing I want to discuss, that is when the temperature increases. When you increase the temperature, the resistance of any material, it depends what kind of material it is. Like conductor, the resistance increases in conductor, but for semiconductor devices, the resistance decreases. So this is all about this video. If you have any sort of doubt, you can ask me anytime. So thank you very much.